So called as domain theory or Weiss theory. Weiss is a scientist who explained this concept. That's why it is called domain theory or Weiss theory of ferromagnetism. I'm talking about ferromagnetic materials. The ferromagnetic material shows very strong magnetism when placed in the external magnetic field. So I'm talking about domain theory or Weiss theory of ferromagnet. See this one, this is the material. And this material consists of domains. This is domain 1, domain 2, domain 3. So many number of domains. And this is called domain walls. The other name is called Bloch walls. Okay. Here it is showing one. It is not one. There are many permanent dipoles are there. The permanent dipoles are oriented in this direction in this domain. The permanent dipoles are oriented in this domain. Why they are? They are partially filled orbitals. These iron, cobalt, nickel are partially. The inner shells are partially filled. They are not completely filled. Okay, due to the partially filled orbitals. Okay, the spinning electron acts like a tiny magnet. All these partially filled orbitals forms a region called as domain. This is domain. This is domain. This is domain wall. So this is the domain wall and this domain. This is the direction of the domain. Okay. If you apply magnetic field, okay, if you apply magnetic field, or you can say H. Sometimes it write as B, or sometimes it write as H. Okay. If you apply some magnetic field, all the domains align parallel to the field. Okay, that's why this material shows very high magnetism. So the concept of domains was proposed by Weiss in order to explain the property of ferromagnetic materials and their hysteresis. What I said, ferromagnetic materials exhibit hysteresis. So we'll discuss later what is hysteresis. Okay. So magnetic domains. Every ferromagnetic material is made up of large number of very small regions known as domains. These are the domains. The boundaries separated by domains are called domain walls or Bloch walls. They each are separated. In each domain, the magnetic dipoles align parallel to each other and produces spontaneous magnetization. So they themselves align parallel to each other. Okay, there is themselves. These materials themselves align parallel to each other. They spontaneously align parallel to each other. No need of external magnetic field. No need of external magnet. If you apply external magnetic field, they will align more. Okay, so that's why when the substance is magnetized, the chain breaks. So this chain breaks. Okay, and the domains gradually set themselves with their magnetic axis all points in the field. Okay, this is called exchange coupling. So how they align parallel to each other themselves in each domain means that is called exchange coupling. Due to exchange coupling between the dipoles, they themselves align parallel to each other. That's why they call as spontaneous magnetization. Align parallel to each other and produce spontaneous magnetization. Okay, they themselves align parallel to each other. How? That is called, due to the word we call as exchange coupling between the dipoles. Exchange coupling between the dipoles takes place and they align parallel to each other and produces spontaneous magnetization. Okay, so when external field is applied, I am applying some field. There are two possible ways of alignment of random. Why it is random? Why it is random? In this dipole, the direction is in this domain. The dipoles are arranged in this direction. In this domain, the dipoles are arranged in this direction. If you apply external field, what happens? How such strong magnetism occurs? Okay, so the two things will happen. The first one is the motion of domain walls takes place and the rotation of domains. So motion, this is a motion of domain walls. See, they move here. Okay, rotation means to the field direction, all the domains will align. This is the field direction. All the domains, randomly oriented domains, will align to the field direction. When external field is applied, two possible ways. One is the motion of domain walls takes place by rotation of domains. So when a small magnetic field is applied on ferromagnet, then the domains of the material whose parallel direction grow in size, where the domains are not parallel to the field, diminish in size. The change produce large magnetization for bulk material. So rotation of domains. Rotation of domains means all the dipoles present in the material rotate to the field direction. So this is so I'm showing here. This is rotation. See the diagram. So this is unmagnetized. There is no field. So when H is equal to or B equal to 0. When H is equal to B equal to 0. This is domain 1, domain 2, domain 3, domain 4. How they are oriented in different directions. Okay, unmagnetized. If you apply field, what happens? The motion of the domain wall takes place. This is the motion of the domain wall. The first thing is motion of domain wall takes place. Okay, next thing is all the domains align parallel to the field. This is a field direction. This is a field direction. So what happens? All the domains. That's why they show very high magnetism. So increase it further to large, near saturation. Further domains grow becomes impossible, and hence fully grow domains can rotate in the field direction is called saturated. Hysteresis curve. Hysteresis curve. Or what is another name for this one is called BH curve. Okay, BH curve. Another name is called BH loop. We call as hysteresis curve, BH curve, BH loop. The another name is called B is replaced with MH curve. Another name is called IH curve. H is common. H is the applied magnetic field strength. B is called magnetic induction. M is called magnetization. I is called intensity of magnetization. Or another name is called JH curve. Okay. So these are the different names. The examiner may ask in different ways. Hysteresis curve, BH curve, BH loop, MH loop, IH loop, JH loop. Loop or curve. Okay. So which materials exhibit this hysteresis curve? Only ferromagnetic materials exhibit hysteresis curve. Only ferromagnetic materials exhibit hysteresis curve. Why they are exhibiting hysteresis curve means B is a non-linear function of H. B is non-linear function of H. What that means? For small fields, there is a large magnetization of the material. That's why B is a non-linear function of H, and they show spontaneous magnetization, and these materials have domains. In each domain there are parallel and orderly arrangement of dipoles due to exchange coupling between the dipoles. They show spontaneous magnetization. That's why this is called hysteresis. So I'm explaining what is hysteresis. Hysteresis means lagging of intensity of magnetization behind the applied magnetic field is called hysteresis. I'm defining what is hysteresis. Lagging of intensity of magnetization behind the applied magnetic field is called hysteresis. There is a lag. There is a lag of magnetization or intensity of magnetization behind the applied magnetic field is called hysteresis. We call it as hysteresis. There is a lagging. The lagging of intensity of magnetization or magnetization behind applied magnetic field. Behind applied magnetic field is called hysteresis. We call it as hysteresis. Lagging of intensity of magnetization behind the applied magnetic field is called hysteresis. So I'm drawing a graph and observing what happens. We'll see how the hysteresis curve looks. Okay, so taking two axes along x-axis, I am taking applied magnetic field strength, applied magnetic or magnetic intensity, or magnetic field strength or magnetic force, which is called that one. So you take here M is called magnetization, or you can take D also, or you can take I also, or you can take J also, whatever it may be. Okay, how the magnetization of the material takes place with applied field you have to take. So far I'm taking one of the ferromagnetic materials such as iron. Okay, so what happens for small fields? For small fields, when you apply a magnetic field to the ferromagnetic material, what happens? The first one is the motion of the domain walls takes place. Second one is the rotation of domains takes place. You have to remember. Okay, the motion of the domain walls takes place and the rotation of the domain space takes place. Motion of the domain walls and the rotation of the domains takes place. And when the rotation of the domains takes place, the magnetization increases. See, for small values, there is a large magnetization. See here, small values. See the magnetization. This is curve. See the y-axis. Along y-axis, magnetization. Along x-axis, H. For small values, there is a large magnetization of the material takes place. J, I or J means same. I means J means same. Some authors will write J, some authors will write I. I means intensity of magnetization. J is also called intensity of magnetization. Both are same. Some authors will write I. I is called intensity of magnetization. J is also called intensity of magnetization. So different authors will write different. Okay. If you go for Western authors, they write J. Indian authors, they write I. Both are same, intensity of magnetization. So for small fields, there's a large magnetization of the material takes place. Okay, and this magnetization reaches the saturation value. There is no more magnetization of the material. Why? All the dipoles in the domains are aligned parallel to the field. All the dipoles in the domain are aligned parallel to the field. Okay, that's why it reaches to the magnetization value. This is called saturation magnetization. Okay, so there are 1000 dipoles are there. For example, all the dipoles align parallel to the field. There is no more, if you increase the field, there is no more magnetization. See, it reaches the saturation value. We called as saturation value. Okay, so up to here, see this one, up to here, there is reversible movement of domain walls takes place. Up to here, okay, up to here, there is a reversible movement of domain walls takes place. So here you reduce, from this point you reduce the magnetic field. The domain walls will come back. For example, this is the domain wall. This is the domain wall. Okay, by applying the field, the domain walls goes here, and you reduce the field once again backs to here, up to this point. This is called 1. This is 1. That is called reversible movement of domain wall takes place up to this point. After this point of magnetic field increases, there is an irreversible movement of domain wall takes place. Walls doesn't come backside. This is reversible. Up to this field, this is domain walls are reversible. After that, the domain walls are irreversible. Okay, and increases. So one is motion of domain walls. In the motion of domain walls, you have to consider reversible as well as irreversible. So you have to see the field, up to what field they are reversible, and up to after that it becomes irreversible. So the motion of the domain walls takes place, their movement becomes reversible up to some point. After that they becomes irreversible, and after the rotation of domains takes place, all the rotation of the domains reaches to saturation value. There is no more saturation. 100 dipoles are attained to the saturation value. So that is reversible rotation of magnetic moments. So reversible rotation. Up to this point there is reversible rotation of magnetic points. Okay, so there is no more. So what I am doing is, if you are going this side, what happens? This is plus H. The field goes on increasing. If you decrease the field, what happens? This is OA. This is OA. This is the direction OA. So what is how this curve looks? It looks an exponential curve. It's not a linear curve. Linear curve means passes through the origin. So how it looks? It looks an exponential curve. Okay. So what I'm decreasing the field. Okay. This is positive x, and I'm decreasing. So 10. If it is 10 H, 10 ampere per meter, 8 ampere per meter, I'm decreasing. So when I'm decreasing, what happens here? So it traces a new path. It traces a new path. See, this is the path. It won't come in the original path. This is the original path. So why? The reversible rotation and the irreversible rotation of the domains takes place. Irreversible rotation. Okay, see this one, this one. So here, this is the path. They trace a new path. See here, by decreasing the field, what happens? The magnetization of the material doesn't get zero. See here, if you decrease the field, it is not coming in this path. This is the original path. So I will change the color. This is the path they are coming. This is a new path they are coming. What happens here? Even the field becomes zero, the magnetization of the material remains same. See, the magnetization never becomes zero. This is known as retentivity or residual magnetism. When you decrease the field, okay, the magnetization remains in the substance. When you decrease the field, the magnetization remains in the substance. That is known as MR. We call it as MR, residual magnetism or retentivity. Why? That is due to irreversible motion of domains. Due to irreversible motion of the domains, it shows some magnetism. That magnetism is called residual magnetism or retentivity. I am defining retentivity. Retentivity means the magnetization remains in the substance when H is equal to 0. This is 0. Magnetization remains in the substance when H is equal to 0 is known as retentivity, MR. Why this comes? Due to irreversible motion of domains. Irreversible motion of the domains, it shows that retentivity. What I am doing? I am applying the field in minus H direction. This is the direction field. I am applying opposite. When you apply opposite, what happens? Once again, the domains try to align in the opposite direction. So what happens? The magnetization once again they randomly and becomes 0. Okay, I'm applying the magnetic field minus H. This is plus H. This is plus H and this is minus H. What happens? So once again, the domains try to go in the field direction. Okay, they try to go in the field direction. So this is, if you're applying this side, I'm applying field. So the domains try to align up in this field direction. Okay, so in this field direction, once again what happens? The magnetization becomes 0. Why? Once again all the domains are get disturbed and randomly oriented. That's why the magnetization becomes 0. So this is called coercivity or coercivity. This is called HC, minus HC. Okay, we call it as coercivity. We call it as coercivity. Okay, the negative magnetic field at which the magnetization of the material becomes 0 is known as coercivity, HC. This is called retentivity, MR, and this is known as coercivity, HC. I am defining coercivity. The reverse magnetic field at which the magnetization of the material becomes 0 is known as coercivity. The magnetization becomes 0. Why? They are randomly oriented, becomes 0. If you increase the field further, what happens? All the dipoles try to align and reaches saturation. And once again you decrease minus HT to minus 2. What is this one? Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 10. What happens? All, if you increase from this, above this, they attain saturation value. Okay. Once again you decrease, it traces a new path like that. So if you apply a cycle of continuous plus H and minus H, we will get a loop. This loop is known as hysteresis loop. This loop we call it as hysteresis. From this point, I'm increasing. So I'm using another this one. Okay, so this one. This is called coercivity. What is coercivity? The field at which this is coercivity. Okay, the field at which the magnetization of the material becomes zero. So later I will increase. What happens? They are saturated in this. Saturation occurs. With minus H, you increase the minus H, saturation occurs. Once again you decrease. Once again it doesn't take a new path. Same what has happened here, the same happens here. The new is a tray path. Okay, if you supply a cycle of plus H and minus H, we are getting a loop. This loop is known as hysteresis loop. A, B, C, D, E, F. So this loop is called hysteresis loop or BH loop. So during this process, some energy is lost. Why? Due to reversible and irreversible. Due to irreversible motion of the domains, some energy is lost. So the area of the loop represents energy loss. The area of the loop. This is the area of the loop. The area of the loop represents energy loss. More is the area of the loop, more is the energy loss. So it is always measured in joule per cycle per unit volume. E is called energy loss. So during the formation of this loop, some energy is lost. Why? Due to irreversible motion of the domains. Due to irreversible motion of the domain and the domain walls, we have to spend lot of energy. Okay, see here, I want here magnetization remains in the substance here, but I make that magnetization to zero by applying some field, reverse field. Okay, some energy is spent to bring the reversible motion of the domain and domain walls to reversible. Once again, if you increase, they align in that direction and get saturated. And this, if you give a cycle of plus H and minus H, we will get a loop. This loop is known as hysteresis loop. That is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This loop is known as hysteresis loop or hysteresis curve. More is the area of the loop, more is the energy loss. The energy is always measured in joule per cycle per unit volume. So you have to remember two. One is called retentivity and coercivity. These are the two properties of the ferromagnetic materials. Retentivity means the magnetization remains in the substance. The magnetization remains in the substance when H is equal to 0 is called retentivity or residual magnetism. That's why you take any magnetic material in your home, even you take speaker of audio speaker, it shows its magnetism. It never loses its magnetism. That is called residual magnetism or retentivity. Okay, the speaker may not work, that the material, the magnetic material used. Okay, so in audio system we use these ferromagnetic materials. In all audio systems we use these ferromagnetic materials. Okay, they never lose. Okay, so retentivity means the magnetization remains in the substance when H is equal to 0 is known as retentivity. Coercivity means the negative magnetic field at which magnetization becomes 0 is known as coercivity minus Hc. So these are the two properties of ferromagnetic materials. And the loop A, B, C, D, F is known as hysteresis loop